Hello, and thank you for your interest in the US 51 Stoughton Road South Corridor study. The following recorded presentation will provide an overview of the study, discuss the current study status, and identify the next steps moving forward. Please consider providing feedback using the online comment form and survey located on the public involvement page of the study website or by the other methods outlined at the end of this presentation. The presentation will begin by providing a general overview, including background information and the purpose and need for the US 51 South study. Conceptual alternatives being considered by the study team will be described. And finally, the study schedule and next steps will be outlined. It is important to note that this is a corridor study, meaning the Wisconsin DOT does not have any construction projects associated with this effort at this time. The goal of the study is to develop and identify an alternative that can be advanced into detailed engineering design and eventually construction. The Stoughton Road South Corridor extends 4.4 miles from Voges Road Terminal Drive in the village of McFarland to just south of Wisconsin 30 in the city of Madison. The corridor is also adjacent to the city of Monona and the town of Blooming Grove. Stoughton Road is an important roadway for statewide, regional, and local travel, and is a primary north-south route through the east side of Madison, providing access to commercial businesses and neighborhoods. Currently, traffic volumes range from 34,000 vehicles per day south of the Beltline to 48,000 vehicles per day between Broadway and Cottage Grove Road. The existing corridor has 2 to 3 travel lanes in each direction. The speed limit transitions from 45 miles per hour on the north and south ends to 55 miles per hour from just north of Broadway to Milwaukee Street. Frontage roads provide business access from south of Flom Road to north of Buckeye, and ditches are used throughout to drain rainwater away from the roadway. The purpose and need for the US 51 South study was developed and refined based on input received from the first public meeting. The purpose of the US 51 South study is to improve safety and mobility for all modes of travel and improve community connectivity, guided by local community plans and goals. A review of the existing conditions along the corridor resulted in the identification of 3 primary needs: improved safety, especially at intersections for vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians; inadequate mobility. Long backups and delays along US 51 and the side roads are expected to get worse if improvements are not made. Improved connectivity. Currently, Stoughton Road can act as a barrier with limited east west crossings, particularly for bicyclists and pedestrians. These needs, along with input from the community, are driving the development and refinement of improvement alternatives considered during the study, and will also be a key factor in the selection of a preferred construction alternative. More detailed information on the corridor needs can be found on the meeting exhibits. The process of addressing the needs on the corridor starts by brainstorming all potential improvement options. The most feasible are formed in a conceptual alternatives, which is where this study is today. The conceptual alternatives were developed to represent a wide variety of improvement options and remain highly flexible and may change based on the feedback received. Near the conclusion of this study, a single preferred alternative will be presented to the community. This is the alternative that the Wisconsin DOT would propose to move forward with and eventually construct. The remainder of this presentation will describe the conceptual alternatives. 5 concepts have been developed for the corridor. Each of the 5 concepts include 3 general design improvements to help address the needs on the corridor. These include adding a mainline travel lane in both the northbound and southbound direction to reduce expected congestion issues, reducing the speed limit along part or all of the corridor to reduce crash severity, improving bicycle and pedestrian facilities, and providing improved crossings to better connect the corridor for all modes of travel. The conceptual alternatives propose speeds of either 35 miles per hour or 45 miles per hour. With each speed comes a different set of roadway design elements. Where 35 miles per hour is proposed, the roadway design would include narrow shoulders with curb and gutter intended as a signal to drivers that they are now on a slower speed urban roadway. Where 45 mile per hour speeds are proposed, wider shoulders are required for safety. Outside of the shoulder, some areas propose curb and gutter, providing a more urban feel, and other areas propose keeping rural shoulders with ditches. This study is considering a wide variety of options for multimodal improvements, including a variety of bicycle and pedestrian facilities, transit accommodations, and safety elements. The current conceptual alternatives each include plans for a north south shared use path. Although all alternatives offer a path in some form, a 35-mile-per-hour speed limit allows for narrow shoulders, which provides more room for multimodal facilities than a 45-mile-per-hour roadway could. Multimodal types and locations will be determined in the next phase of evaluation, but we do welcome your ideas at this time. Other design improvements differ among the conceptual alternatives. The four key differentiators are intersection designs, how businesses are accessed between Flom Road and Buckeye Road, the inclusion of new side road crossing locations, and speed limit. These will be discussed in more detail in the next few slides. The study is evaluating three types of intersections. Traditional intersections currently exist at Voges Road, Broadway, Flom Road, and Buckeye Road. These locations could remain traditional intersections with added mainline travel and turn lanes to improve operations. Interchanges currently exist at the Beltline, Cottage Grove Road, and Buckeye Road. These locations could remain interchanges, but with longer lanes for slowing down or speeding up to merge. Hybrid intersections are a new idea for the corridor and are being considered at all existing signal locations except the Beltline interchange. With this hybrid intersection design, US 51 would be separated from the side road by a bridge with a connector road reconnecting the two streets. This design allows vehicle and multimodal traffic crossing US 51 to do so without mixing with US 51 traffic. Another feature that differentiates the conceptual alternatives is how driveways along the corridor are accessed. This feature is specific to the section of the corridor from south of Flom Road through Buckeye Road. Currently, driveways in this area utilize a frontage road system. For example, to get to a business, a customer would first find their way onto a frontage road and then turn into the driveway. The conceptual alternatives in this study are evaluating options that maintain frontage roads or remove part or all of the frontage roads in this area. Alternatives removing frontage roads would include driveway access directly onto the Stoughton Road main line. In their current location, the Stoughton Road intersections with Flom Road and Buckeye Road are very closely spaced to the frontage road intersections, which contributes to operational and safety issues. As part of this study, several options are being evaluated that would increase the space between these intersections. The options include keeping both frontage roads with traditional intersections. This requires moving the current frontage roads to new locations, shown in the slide in pink, to improve the spacing between the intersections along Flom Road and Buckeye Road. Keeping both frontage roads with hybrid intersections. The connector roads of the hybrid intersections help to improve intersection spacing with fewer impacts to the area. Keeping only the west frontage road. This option removes the frontage road to the east of Stoughton Road, which means the driveways that would have connected to the east frontage road would now connect directly to Stoughton Road. Or the last option, removing frontage roads in this area and connecting all driveways in this area directly to Stoughton Road. Another design feature is the possibility of adding new signalized side road connections with Stoughton Road. The side roads currently under consideration for connections to Stoughton Road are Tompkins Drive to the east, south of Flom Road, Helgeson Drive to the east between Flom Road and Buckeye Road, Alice Avenue to the east or west just south of Buckeye Road, and Robertson Road to the east between Cottage Grove Road and Milwaukee Street. 5 conceptual alternatives are being investigated as part of this study. For comparison, a no-build option is also being analyzed. The no-build option serves as a baseline that assumes no improvements beyond routine maintenance on the corridor. The following slides will provide details about each of the conceptual alternatives. Starting with conceptual alternative 1, the 45-mile-per-hour concept. This concept maintains a 45-mile-per-hour speed limit throughout the entire corridor, which would require wide paved shoulders. Curb and gutter is proposed north of the Beltline interchange. The existing interchanges at the Beltline, Cottage Grove Road, and Milwaukee Street would remain with some longer lanes for slowing down or speeding up to merge. Traditional or hybrid intersections could be included at the remaining intersections. The existing frontage road system from south of Flom Road to north of Buckeye Road would be maintained. Of the five conceptual alternatives, the 45-mile-per-hour concept would provide the fastest north-south travel time. It provides the option to choose traditional or hybrid intersection designs at Voges Road Terminal Drive, Broadway, Flom Road, and Buckeye Road. A limitation of the 45-mile-per-hour speed is that the moderate speed reduction and limited connectivity improvements do very little to reduce the barrier for travelers crossing Stoughton Road. In addition, the 45-mile-per-hour speeds with this option may lead to higher crash severity than the lower speed options. Next, conceptual alternative 2, the expanded intersections concept. The expanded intersections concept reduces the speed limit to 35 miles per hour north of the Beltline. With this change in speed limit, the shoulder can be reduced, leaving more room for multimodal improvements. Curb and gutter would be included in the 35-mile-per-hour area to signal to drivers that this is a slower speed roadway. The existing interchanges at the Beltline, Cottage Grove Road, and Milwaukee Street would remain with some longer lanes for slowing down or speeding up to merge. And the existing traditional intersections at Voges Road, Terminal Drive, Broadway, Flom Road, and Buckeye Road would remain traditional intersections with added lanes as needed to improve congestion. The existing frontage road system in the Flom Road to Buckeye Road area would be maintained. This concept can lower the severity of crashes on Stoughton Road by lowering the speed limit while maintaining familiar intersections. A limitation of maintaining the traditional intersections is that additional lanes are required to accommodate increasing traffic volumes, which can make the intersections more difficult to cross for bicyclists and pedestrians. In addition, the current frontage road intersections are too close to the Flom Road and Buckeye Road intersections, which creates safety and operational issues. In order to provide adequate spacing, the frontage roads need to be moved, which would impact nearby properties. Next, conceptual alternative 3, the improved frontage concept. The improved frontage concept has the same speed limit and roadway design as conceptual alternative 2. The speed would be 35 miles per hour north of the Beltline with narrow shoulders and curb and gutter. Interchanges at the Beltline, Cottage Grove Road, and Buckeye Road would remain, but the other intersections along the corridor would be converted into hybrid intersections. The connector roads and the hybrid intersection designs address the frontage road spacing issues at Flom Road and Buckeye Road with fewer impacts to the surrounding area compared to maintaining traditional intersections. This concept includes two options for the frontage roads: keeping frontage roads on both sides of Stoughton Road or removing the east frontage road. If the east frontage road was removed, business driveways on that side would connect directly on to Stoughton Road. In addition, if the east frontage road is removed, Helgeson Drive could also connect directly to Stoughton Road. The improved frontage concept can lower the severity of crashes on Stoughton Road by lowering the speed limit. The hybrid intersections help users trying to cross Stoughton Road by separating the side road traffic from Stoughton Road traffic, which also makes them safer and less congested. A limitation of this concept is that hybrid intersections cause indirection for some turning traffic. Another limitation is that only a few new street or driveway connections could be made to improve the connectivity of Stoughton Road. Next is conceptual alternative 4, the direct access concept. This concept reduces the speed limit to 35 miles per hour throughout the entire corridor, with narrow shoulders and curb and gutter throughout as well. Hybrid intersections at Cottage Grove Road and Milwaukee Street, along with potential new signalized intersections at Tompkins Drive, Helgeson Drive, and Robertson Road, would give Stoughton Road the look and feel of an urban roadway. Frontage road options with this concept include removing the east frontage road between Flom Road and Buckeye Road, or removing both frontage roads in this area. Where frontage roads are removed, driveways would be extended and connect directly to Stoughton Road. The direct access concept can lower the severity of crashes on Stoughton Road by lowering the speed limit and provides better connectivity to neighborhoods and businesses. A limitation is that adding intersections and driveways adds potential for crashes at those locations. Finally, conceptual alternative 5, the wide boulevard concept, will be discussed. This concept makes the biggest transformation of Stoughton Road toward an urban roadway. The speed limit would be 35 miles per hour throughout, with narrow shoulders and curb and gutter. The Cottage Grove Road and Milwaukee Street interchanges would be converted into hybrid intersections, and potential new signalized street connections at Tompkins Drive, Helgeson Drive, Alice Avenue, and Robertson Road would give Stoughton Road the look and feel of an urban roadway. In the area between Flom Road and Buckeye Road, the frontage roads would be removed and a wide boulevard would be developed by shifting the northbound lanes of Stoughton Road to where the east frontage road is located and shifting the southbound lanes of Stoughton Road to where the west frontage road is located. The area between the northbound and southbound lanes would be a large green space. Side road intersections with Stoughton Road in this area would be split into two signals, one for northbound traffic and another for southbound traffic. All business driveways between Flom Road and Buckeye Road connect directly onto Stoughton Road. This wide boulevard concept could provide an opportunity for innovative use of the green space in the median. In addition, this concept allows for the most connectivity to neighborhoods and businesses. A limitation of this concept is that adding intersections and driveways adds potential for crashes at those locations. More details about each of the 5 conceptual alternatives can be found on the public meeting exhibit boards. A high-level study schedule is shown on this slide. The feedback from this meeting will help narrow down the corridor concepts that will be carried forward for more detailed design and evaluation. The study team will also develop intersection concepts throughout the corridor, and those will be presented at the next public involvement meeting in spring 2025. Based on the feedback from that meeting, detailed alternatives will be developed for the concepts that have the most potential to meet the study needs. A 4th public meeting will be held in late 2025 to present and get feedback on the detailed alternatives. The feedback received will help identify a preferred alternative for the corridor, which is the alternative that the Wisconsin DOT would propose to move forward with and eventually construct. The environmental document for the study is anticipated to be published in early 2026, and that will be followed by a public hearing. The study is anticipated to be completed in the fall of 2026. Once the study is completed, the project could then be approved for final design and construction. If that occurs, the earliest that construction of a preferred alternative is anticipated is the early 2030s. We want to hear from you. Please consider providing feedback regarding the US 51 Stoughton Road South Corridor and the conceptual alternatives in this presentation. The feedback received will be used to help determine concepts to be carried forward and analyzed in further detail. Paper comment forms and surveys are available for those who are in person at the public meeting to provide input on the study. Additionally, online versions can be accessed from the study website. To use the online versions, scan the QR code on the slide to access the public involvement page of the study website, then click on the online comment form and survey links. You may also contact Wisconsin DOT Project Manager Jeff Behrens with any questions or comments you may have. Please complete the online survey and submit any comments by December 20th, 2024. Thank you for viewing this presentation. We appreciate your interest in the US 51 Stoughton Road South study, and we look forward to receiving your input as we continue the study process.